The birth stories of Jesus in Matthew, Luke, and John. New life is woven together, yet it's not entirely new. In the Gospels, the good news of great joy is that the King has come, the Lord has drawn near, and he came clothed in humility. And that's why we celebrate the good news of great joy on Christmas, because the King and the Lord came clothed in humility and laid in a manger. First, the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke seek to communicate that the King has come, as Jesus is portrayed as royalty in each Gospel. In first century Judaism, there is an expectation for a royal Messiah. The royal Messiah, described in Psalm 2, is set on God's holy hill, and all other kings must bow down to him. There was anticipation of a future Davidic king whose throne would be established for all eternity. First century Jews saw this Messiah's role as highly political. They pictured him looking like every other human king, wearing a crown of gold and a robe of purple. Jesus is depicted as heir to David's throne, according to Luke 1:32 through 33, where an angel tells Mary that he's the heir. Furthermore, the Gospel of Matthew begins with Jesus' royal genealogy. The Gospel of Mark similarly portrays Jesus as royal, because Mark mirrors royal propaganda of Caesar himself. From the Preeminence inscription, we know that Caesar announced his birth as, quote, good news. Mark opens with the same line and attributes the good news to Jesus' birth. Second, the Gospels portray Jesus as the preeminent Lord who has come. John chapter 1 says that the Word was God. John 1:14 illustrates that that Word was in fact Jesus within the Gospel of John. Jesus in the Gospel of John is portrayed as preeminent and even pre-existent. John 1 describes that the Word became flesh so that all who receive him, who believe in his name, may become children of God. Jesus' preeminence is also shown in the Gospel of Luke, when the angel tells the shepherds that their Savior, Christ and Lord, has been born. Third, the Gospels show that he came clothed in humility by subverting every expectation created by his royalty and preeminence. There was no room in the inn for the Savior. He was born in a cold stone manger, which was meant to feed animals. In Luke chapter 2, Jesus lying in a manger was a sign of the good news of great joy. He had every right to claim riches. He had every right to boast. Yet, below all, was a baby in a feeding trough. In Matthew, he was a refugee, forced to flee his homeland. In John, he came to his own people, and his own people did not receive him. Jesus was humble enough to endure all of this, to live as a refugee, and to die as one rejected. He did this so that humanity could become children of God. Matthew 1:23 lays out that he is called Emmanuel, God with us, because the King came down. The Lord came near, and he did it all, clothed in humility, wrapped tightly in a manger, in the weakest of forms, in a feeding trough meant to feed animals, he was born. And this is why the good news of great joy is that the King has come near, the Lord has drawn near, and that he came clothed in humility.